I'm good. How are you, Wendy Stuart?
Oh, this is so great, buddy. Welcome to If These Walls Could Talk. And your host, we're separated today, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
We are separated because Tim just foolishly seduced Santa and was caught by Mrs. Claus.
She busted us and under the mistletoe.
There you go. And you know what? These kinds of things happen. I won't even divulge what Tim was doing with the elves. It's our secret.
Talk about a ho, ho, ho.
Ho, ho, ho. My God. This has been quite the week, Tim. I was so happy to see you at it was the Liberty Bell Awards, Lady Liberty Awards.
Lady Liberty, the drag competition at the Q, yes.
At the Q, that was great.
Mike and I were a couple of the judges.
You were. Don't judge me, Tim. Please don't judge me today. We'll never get through the program. What was your favorite thing about that pageant?
I have got to say the one that won, Black Cherry,
loved
blew me away. She deservedly won. She truly did.
It
was so nice and refreshing to see a young drag queen who really grasped the art form.
Yes.
You know, she really delivered. She did.
She did, but she also has all the stuff going on that is happening now, which was really, really wonderful. And they had a great turnout. Wonderful seeing our own Egypt LaBeija there, the gorgeous Egypt LaBeija. I had come fresh from Otto's Shrunken Head.
I was there as well. I came down to see you.
And thank you. You are such tremendous support of not only me and all your other friends, but of the arts community. Love you to death, baby, for that one. We had a great time.
It was Evan Lawrence had put together a variety show, a holiday variety show. And oh my God.
What was it? Balls of many colors.
Yes. And Lady Clover Honey was there and Alex Celso, and oh my God, it was just amazing. It was so much fun seeing everybody.
Yeah, we really did. And you know what? I have to share gratitude today, ladies and gentlemen, because a chain of events. I ended up at PANGEA Saturday night seeing the amazing Raven O.
Yes.
Which I did not initially have tickets for because I was going to see Raven O, Joey Arias, and Sherry Vine at Bardot and Industry. I had tickets for that performance for weeks from the time they put it up online, and then all of a sudden, Omicron raised its ugly head and things started canceling.
Yeah, and I didn't know you were going to the 9:30 show. I went to Raven's 7 o'clock show.
I know. I got there, and of course they said, "Oh, Tim Moss just left." It's like we girls are like passing ships in the night. But you know what? Here we all are today, and I mentioned the show Bardot, okay, because one of the most amazing performers from that show is with us here today. The incredible drag artist, cabaret singer, performance artist, I mean, absolute legend, from Fiorucci all the way to an upcoming show. Mark your calendars, January 30th, 9:30, Joe's Pub. Go online, order your tickets. It's going to sell out. And that is not an easy website to navigate. Just had to throw that in. Without further ado, please welcome Joey Arias.
Yes. Word.
Oh, God.
Hi, everybody. Hi.
How are you, baby?
Let's see. I'm good. How are you? How did you look?
It's great. It's our special holiday show, and we were so excited that you could come to this.
Well, I got red on too, just like you guys. A little red. So we're paying attention to the holidays and Santa,
right?
And the birth of baby Jesus.
Oh my gosh! Let us not forget, we are celebrating not only that, but we're celebrating Santa's reindeer.
Oh my God! Right, with the big red nose.
Yes, Rudolph.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was like an underground club called Rudolph's Big Nose.
Was that real? Was it in Germany? Where was that? Where was that club?
In Berlin.
I love it.
Celebrating afterbirth. We're celebrating afterbirth of Jesus. That's after Christmas. It's bringing on like soup.
It's the whole thing, right?
I love when she says drag. Well, this is Joey. I'm like everything.
I know.
I'm kind of beyond all that.
You are beyond.
I call myself. I'm a singer. I'm an artist. But then I do all these things. And the medium of the drag element is so beautiful. But I'm kind of pushing into a different realm now.
But you always put
Wendy, can you just shift the angle a little bit? So just so we get more of Joey. We only
right
have
on over.
or slide. Perfect. Okay, yay.
But you know what? You did your own form, and maybe not drag. Let's not even use that word. Let's just talk about you, the performance artist. Okay. Yeah. From back in the day to now, you have always danced to your own drum.
Oh, you have to.
Boom, boom, boom.
You have to. I started when I was a kid. I started to dance to my own beat. My parents freaked out. Even the nuns freaked out. They wanted to arrest me and take me to jail because I was a child.
Wait, did you go to
Where did you grow up?
Oh my God. Oh, see, I don't know any of this.
Where did you grow up?
So I'm originally from North Carolina.
Okay.
I'm an Army child. And so my parents told me on their way, when they were leaving North Carolina, on the way, they were going to move to Australia. So on the way to Australia, they stopped in LA. I was 6 years old. And then they got caught there. And my father wound up getting a job. So I wound up staying in California, Los Angeles.
Well, you were meant to grow up in LA.
No, it's not. I hated it. Really? I hated it. I used to tell the nuns, I don't belong here. I'm a rebel. I'm part of the Confederacy. And I need to go. I need to pick cotton with my people. They're like, "What?
What cotton?"
I'm 6 years old, telling the nuns that. They're like, they called my mother and said, "What is Joey talking about? Confederacy and the rebel and picking cotton with his people?" That's the kind of child I was growing up.
How did your parents deal with this? The army thing. Your dad went.
He's a macho.
I ran into more people, by the way, like from our community that were army brats too. They came from these army families.
Right. Thank God.
What was it? But what is it about coming from an army family that makes this happen?
I have no idea.
Happen, all of it.
My father was just like a macho guy, but he wanted me to play sports. My mother was kind of a very open-minded. They played a lot of music, and of course, my mother said when we realized we were going to stay in LA, Joey has to go to Catholic school because I don't want Joey to go to public school because the insanity of what Joey's all about.
Right, public school wouldn't have been good, but no. What your Catholic school? I know Tim is like hilarious.
Well, I thought it was one of the nuns. You remember the nun story with Audrey Hepburn?
Yes.
These nuns with the they were called the Company of Mary, with all that white and black. So there were 20 of them. So I still met my father on his way to work, dropped me off at church every morning before school. So I went to church 7 days. Wait, stop! I went to church Monday through Friday and on Sunday. So
my God.
I wanted to be with the nuns and the priest doing Latin mass. And so I finally got this fabric and this cardboard thing, and I put it on my head and I was in the back. I was with the nuns, and one of the nuns turned around after she's like, "What was that?" I said, I'm a nun. Also, she goes, "Boys can't be nuns." I said, "I'm not." She goes, "You be a priest." I said, "I don't want a priest." So there was that kind of growing up.
You were, but it's so funny.
Yeah, because the fashion is so much more fun.
No matter how you look at it, Joey's in the Company of Mary.
That's exactly. I was taught by the Company of Mary. Right. Then when I went to high school, then I was taught by Jesuit priests.
So, oh my God, I didn't none of this.
So I learned Latin. I learned all the theology, but it goes on and on. So my parents one day that we saw the movie Cleopatra. So
with Elizabeth Taylor.
Which I remember we had towels that were striped. I used to get tin foil and make snakes. So one day they were going to go out on an outing. They left me at home. And so I called my friends to come over. They used to play with me. So I told my one friend that was this gorgeous guy. He was like a football player. I said, I'm going to dress you up like the mummy. And he did whatever I said. So he went in his underwear. I got toilet paper, wrapped him up, put him on a chaise lounge. I already had done the Cleopatra makeup with like the eyes and a towel, and tinfoil and sheets. Like he had this gown and two little black friends of mine as the Nubian slaves. as a Bernard Herrmann music in the background playing the soundtrack from the Egyptian, and I had like incense burning and bubbling water.
You had everything going on, the whole environment.
So it was kind of like the Mummy meets Cleopatra. And I was Anon Sonamen Himotep. Oh, Mark Anthony, come back to life again. I didn't call him Himotep, but and so we're doing that, and then I was putting like water in his mouth, and the black kids were fanning me with interest. And in the 50s living room, whatever.
In the 50s living room.
Yes.
And my parents walked in. I thought they were going to be gone, and they caught us in the middle of it. My mother was like, "What?"
But did they realize how brilliant you were even then?
And I was like 7 years old doing this.
At 7 years old.
Oh my God.
And my
So you
mother
always
like
had
was
that.
what the handsome guy was running with his underwear with the toilet paper coming up. The two little black kids with their G-string
You
or
had
whatever.
everything going on.
And they ran out of the house and my mother was screaming like, "Don't ever do this again with that Joey, my God." So they really were like watching me because they really were completely blown away by this. So they knew something was up.
So you've always had a theatrical flair.
Yeah, you can say that again.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Look who I'm sitting next to.
Oh my
She's
God.
like a firecracker that didn't stop.
No, but I grew up in the Bronx. It was a lot more tolerant.
Can you
than
tell?
yeah,
I
right.
saw her fuse and it's a tampon. Let that bitch up and see her blow up, okay?
You're lucky I didn't bring it today as an ornament.
What do you mean you didn't bring it? I'm looking right at it. Is this show too much? Are we having a good time?
No, we're having a good time, and that's why we are here today.
Let's roll,
So,
baby. Let's
we're going to roll now.
roll.
Did you have? I want to get back to little Joey. Did you have a lot of friends? Did people get? You must have had friends that got you.
Oh well, they got me all right. Well, on the weekends, my parents made sure we were playing sports with the neighborhood boys. I kind of did it, but I was like, ah!
Yeah, same here.
But I love baseball and I like badminton and tennis. That was my thing.
Yeah.
And of course, swimming was my favorite because everybody was in their little shorts.
Right.
And I always played the
Exactly.
mermaid.
Oh.
And this is like probably 8 years old, whatever. And then I had like I used to buy monster model kits, so I used to build models. I have all the monsters: Dracula, Frankenstein, the Creature, King Kong.
Yes, I used to do those. I used to make those. I forgot all about that.
I have them.
Oh, you used to do that. What was it about the monsters? What was it?
Well, I was fascinated by just like different, the unusual. I was like, I kind of didn't like just people like the kind of the beautiful model type. I like somebody with a little twist to it.
Yeah.
And so I could relate to the monsters. So whenever I met somebody that was kind of weird, even in school, I gravitated to the stranger people.
Yeah.
The fatty, the weirdo, the one that people like shunned at.
Sometimes the underdog. The underdog. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep. I can say that too.
The company of Mary, okay?
From the get-go, we're all in the company.
Now,
of Mary,
if these walls can talk, I know
and they are talking today.
And those walls are talking too. Okay. End of the month. Okay. So I smell like some Italian soup going on in here.
Oh my goodness. Well, so obviously you have like you were saying, the underdogs, you've kind of always known that you were not quote unquote normal.
You were different.
But when did you discover well, go ahead with that thought and then I'll ask.
I never thought of myself as the underdog. I found myself as a person that was I was an explorer. I felt like I didn't belong here.
Same,
interesting.
Same.
You know, I was looking, exploring, and looking. Yep. I didn't want somebody that was just there, like obvious. Oh, obvious, handsome sportsman, beautiful fashion girl.
Right.
I want somebody that was like with a broken tooth or somebody with a shrunken eye
with a twist.
Explorer. That is a very interesting identity.
Yeah.
And an interesting identity that you had assumed.
Did you ever choose to Google me? That is the first thing that comes up. Because
explorer?
Totally.
Well, that's what I was. Yeah. I was like always exploring what was. I was the different and unusual, and my parents knew that. I mean, it goes. That childhood was completely insane.
Did you take after were there any brothers or sisters or an uncle? Who did you get this from? There had to be somebody.
No, just I would say my grandmother.
Grandmother.
Grandma.
Because one day, because my parents would take us to her sister and my mother. I had my brother, myself, and they had their boy and girl. So they would drop us off at my grandmother's house and to stay with them for the weekend. And so one day I was watching her, and she was getting all kind of dolled up, and she put her lipstick on. I was watching, and then she did this, and she kind of did this, and lifted her skirt up, and rolled her stockings down, and rouged her knees.
Love the rouge.
Yes.
But I was kind of like, I was like, I looked at her and said, "Grandma, what are you doing?" She goes, I don't want to waste the lipstick, so I kind of get a little bit and give me a little blush, and then I put it on my knees. I said, "But why?" She goes, "Well, when I was a young girl, I used to dance in clubs." And when the skirt goes up, the men would get excited to see your knees a little rouged up because that means you were really taking care of yourself. And I
love this. I never thought about rouging the knees.
And so I knew this as a kid. So then when we were doing that song, you're gonna buckle down and rouge my knees, all that jazz. And
yes.
Sherry's like going, I don't know. I thought it was a bizarre thing. I explained it, and Sherry was like, I never knew that.
I never knew that.
I didn't either. That's fascinating.
And so,
Right,
and then my grandmother used to, so also she would drop us off at the movies so they could do their thing. So we'd be watching Auntie Mame, Gypsy, the Three Stooges cartoons.
Grew up with all that.
All these kind of the bizarre, like the Bernard Herrmann films. You know, the animation. So I would see someone that go to the theater and watch the repeats of the films. It'd be like watching. I'd see Auntie Mame like 3 times in a row.
Nice.
So I'd be watching this. So I kind of grew up watching this stuff. And so I was already like, give me this, you know. And then I go home, and then so my mother didn't know that. So of course I started kind of playing it out a little bit. So it was crazy. And if I played Cowboys and Indians with the neighbors, because the boys wanted to do that, I would be. Of course, I'd be the Indian, but
I knew that.
But I was Pocahontas.
American. Of course, you were Pocahontas.
And so I got like a bag and got tape because I wanted like long hair because we had to wear crew cuts in school.
Yeah.
I made this bag with like hair, and the hair got stuck, so it looked like Rasta braids. And so then I put makeup on it, and I shredded this shirt. I had to make like this Pocahontas top, whatever. And then I got the bow and arrow that took the rubber pop and I sharpened them. So then we were playing. I like the guys over there, and I like just shoot that arrow and it goes stuck in a tree. And they were like, "Oh my god, you're going for blood."
Pocahontas is the real deal.
Don't mess with Pocahontas. Don't fuck with Pocahontas.
Yeah, my parents were like Pocahontas, and then I used to make my own high heels also.
Oh,
milk cartons.
Stop.
No, milk cartons and toilet.
The toilet roll on the milk carton.
Yes, the milk carton. I cut it and shape it with tape, and then the brown little toilet thing.
Genius.
I wrapped that with tape and put it there, and I could pose with my feet pressure on the toes, so it would break. And I'd be walking around and kiss. My mother saw that. She was like, "What? How do you? Where does this come from?" She told me, "You're not my child. You're not my baby. I don't know who the fuck gave you to me, but you don't belong here. I don't know what you are. Leave us alone."
But you know what? Listen, you were allowed the plant was allowed to grow and flourish in that environment as you did. I'm curious though, the Jesuit thing. I don't know much about it. How did the Jesuits deal with you?
The Jesuits were fantastic. They're very liberal, very open. The Jesuits are more liberal, and they're very open-minded. And that's what we started really getting into religion and talk about other things and then we had like a section about the Anunnaki. We were talking about space and talking about this is like in high school, and the kids some of them were dropping up, but I was like even more fascinated because of like when they started talking about God and the gods and and they were being very real. It wasn't like pray to the cross or whatever. And they were like, there's other people, other forms that would come, but this Anunnaki, those would come from
So they would acknowledge them.
Because that was about the time of Chariots of the Gods, right?
Yes, Tim,
right,
absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
And so they were very open-minded. Of course, I was. And so when I used to wear a uniform for 8 years, like a literally brown corduroy.
I can't imagine you in brown corduroy.
A cordovan a blazer or a sweater, white shirt and cordovan top with cordovan shoes and a crew cut. That's what for 8 years was my look, and I used to be like crying.
But wait, high school is when like so many people in our community they exploded during high school. Well, what did you do with that side of yourself?
Well, I exploded in the 2nd grade. What are you talking about? I didn't wait to no fucking high school. High school to me was like I wanted out of there. To me, it was kind of like it was like being on a racetrack or like a horse race. I saw it as like the bell had rang, the doors were open. I'm like, that was high school. Like get out fast. And so anyway,
did you start hanging in clubs in high school?
When I was in no. I became kind of a good. I was like actually an A student.
Wow, in your brown corduroy pants.
No, in grade school. And in grade school, my mother's brother, my Uncle Freddie, he was wild. And so he would bring his girlfriend. And I kind of looked a little bit older than what I was like. Anyway, he would tell my mom, we're going to take Joey out with him. And my first concert was Ike and Tina Turner Review.
Yes, perfect.
I was probably like 10 years
old.
I
like Uncle Freddie.
I know, I do too, Tim.
And he's driving his car, and with his girlfriend, and we got there, and I remember him smoking a pot. I didn't know what it was.
Oh, so Uncle Freddie got stoned too.
Yeah.
Love it.
And he was gorgeous. I wanted him so bad. That's my mother's brother. He was the youngest.
You didn't care that he was family. You still wanted him.
Duh. A cock has no nation. Okay.
All right.
If
there we go today. Ladies and gentlemen, it all comes out in the walls. The walls are talking.
If these walls can talk. Help me. Fuck you, everybody. Hi, everybody. Fuck you. Here we are. Oh my God.
If there's any question about it, you are watching If These Walls Could Talk with your hosts Wendy Stuart and Tym Moss and our amazing and wonderful guest, the incredible Joey Arias. Yay!
So we were talking about your wanted incest with your Uncle Freddie. That's where we left off. And then you started speaking in tongues.
Right. That was like that because I was on incense.
Because back in like the 60s and the 70s, if you were born with a penis, then you had to wear your little corduroy shorts and your crew cut and all of that. That was just the way it was. When did you discover when did you come to terms with your sexuality?
Yeah, or
you were more attracted to the boys than the girls.
When I was in kindergarten. Come on, I just told you I played Cleopatra when I was 6 years old.
That was it. That was a dead giveaway. And I think
I meant as far as wanting to kiss the boys instead of kiss the girls.
I didn't even tell you this part yet. But my neighbors that were like the guys, like they were like sports guys. I mean, they were gorgeous. The one guy was JoJo, the other guy was Albert. And they were like, I remember JoJo kind of looked like a young Paul McCartney. He was like 6'2", and he was gorgeous. And then Albert was kind of more, he looked more like kind of a Rudolph Valentino dark. I was like, and so we were like neighbors, and we always played like games or whatever. So JoJo's parents were always gone till like late. So JoJo said, come to the house, and he found all these Betty Page girly magazines, and he goes, look at that. He goes, let's reenact some of these photographs. So I'll be Betty Page, and I'd stand in the middle.
Yes,
JoJo would be in front of me, so we were posing like kind of just like look in the mirror and see we got the poses right as they were grinding me, and then other times we got just our underwear. And then a couple times we actually got naked, grinding each other.
Oh my God!
We were little boys.
You were little boys. You didn't know.
I want to live in your neighborhood. I wish I lived in your neighborhood.
I think your neighborhood was a lot calmer.
But my neighborhood at that point was right in front of the General Hospital. That's where I grew up. So that was my playground. On top of that, I had a castle in front of me.
Wow.
Oh,
so when you see General Hospital, that was like right there. I lived right there.
Well, that's good in case anything happened. Just walk across the street.
I didn't even tell you what happened, but anyway, we did this for a while. This playing like getting like horny, and all of a sudden, JoJo had to go with his family on vacation. He came back and he looked a little bit more like bigger. Still, like his voice had changed a little bit. And then he said, "You want to play that game again?" And I said, "Yeah, let's do it." Because I was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
And then he put the magazines out. And then we started getting naked. And when he pulled his pants off, he had this like fucking 10-inch banana. Like instead of this little thing, this big fat 10-inch banana. I was like,
do you think he had to put on when he was on vacation?
I think it grew when he was on vacation. And I was like, look at me. And I said, oh, and he goes, I don't know, it just grew during. He goes, do you like it? And I said, he goes, will you play with it? I said, sure. So we're doing the Betty Page stuff.
And you're playing with JoJo's
and he's getting hard. And I'm talking, this is grade school. And he went to public school because and I was Catholic school.
Maybe that's why his grew bigger.
And then one time we were in his room and he said, would you suck it? I said, really? And he opened his mouth and it was like a big old boner. So I started sucking the dick. And I so I'm probably like 9 years, 8, 9.
But this was the first one? 10 inches. You got 10 inches shot out of the bag.
Sucking it. And then we were making out on top of that, like heavy duty passion. Ooh. And then when I started sucking the dick again, the door, but his father went, Joe.
Oh my God.
Backed up, and then the door was closing. He goes, JoJo and Joey, come outside. And I was like, and JoJo, we were like, we went out, and JoJo's pants are bulging. He goes, okay, boys, just go outside and play games. never said anything about anything.
Wow. We are playing games, Daddy.
I know, right? And I am playing football. So that was like kind of my. I was like, I said, girls in that. I said, let's have babies, and they said, okay. And girls would lift their legs up and pull their panties down. And I used to get like, the things when you're looking for water with that stick with the
divining rod.
The divining rod.
I had like a divining rod, and I go to the girl's pussy, and they're like, how's that feel? They were like, oh, put it closer to my kitty cat. And this is great. I've been rubbing their pussy. They're like, oh, don't hurt me. I said, do you think you can have a baby? He's like, I don't know. If you keep playing, oh, my kitty, maybe the baby will come. And I rub it. Then I put my fingers and play with it. Oh. And then also you get like something, and we'd stop doing that. So this is the kind of games I was playing with everybody.
Oh my God.
This is like 6, 7, 8 years old.
No, I know. I did the time. I know.
So people always tell, oh, my child, it's only 6 years old. I say, you have no idea what 6 years old.
Right. You're way ahead of your time.
Oh
man,
my.
Kids at 6 years old are like computer wizards. At 6 years old, I was sucking cock and making art.
That is a t-shirt, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have those available too. Joey, you have to make those.
If these walls can talk.
Yeah. Okay, so you in your Jesuit high school, right? When do you decide that you're going to drive cross country, come to New York? When did
so then as I was going to Catholic, high school, it was Catholic, also Jesuit. Then we could wear our own clothes. So I used to wear really tight pants, and I was very fashionable.
I'm sure.
And they were all the guys were like, being macho. And here I walked in with like, I go to thrift shops, buy ladies' blouses and jeans, and they were. And I was growing my hair longer. My father was like, okay, and they were just like, but I wound up actually doing a lot of art. The Jesuit priest said we have to keep Joey after the lunch. Joey would do the math, English, and history in the beginning. Lunch break, and then it'd be art for the rest of the day.
I love that they got
so they really supported your creativity. They really supported your creativity. That's
the Jesuit priest guy it was like we were doing the masters, Picasso, Michelangelo, Leonardo. So it was like doing all these chalk drawings and live models. So I was doing all these drawings, and then they hired this woman to come and do pop art. And so she introduced us to Andy Warhol, that whole.
This is so incredible in Jesuit high school.
And so I would do half of his and half of hers. And the Jesuit priest, he was like, "Why are you doing her class? Because that stuff is going to go nowhere." And I was like, I like the idea of the old school and the new school.
Yeah,
that's who you are.
And so, she kept pushing me. She really was like pushing me. So I had my father's Super 8 camera, and I used to make films. And so I want to make it for my graduation and to get like a college grant, whatever.
Yeah.
I'd done a series of tarot cards that was like 30 by 40. And it took me a month. I did drawings. I drew them every day, and I made the box. And I brought them to school, and everyone was like
blown away.
And I had made this Super 8 film that was an hour long that I've been doing for like 6 months, like shooting my neighbors and friends, and this girl that was my friend, and going to the forest and doing whatever. So I had this film, and I put a soundtrack to it, and they took it to like UCLA, USC, Santa Barbara.
Oh my God!
And I wound up getting grants to all these schools. They were like,
I totally. This story is so incredible, and it's really, really inspirational because you know what? From the get-go, you burst out creating. Come on, show everybody. If these walls could talk.
Now that you asked me, I'm like, I do it. Okay.
But there's so much to be learned from your experience, okay? And how creative children are in the world. I like to get that message out there. It's important.
It's important to watch your child, because their child immediately will tell you what they're all about.
Yeah, right.
I don't know about my child. She goes, what do you think about my child? I said, what do you mean? She goes, I can't figure my baby out. And the baby was in the car, but it was a little, you could tell the baby looked at me and went like, I said, your baby's gay.
Yeah.
And she goes, how do you know? I said, that look, the way that baby, that kid gave me that look. I said, be prepared that it's either going to be a drag or some kind of a trans baby, or it's going to be like this, or it'll pass this phase and be like a father of 30 kids. He'll be like Noah.
Right.
And so I could tell, I have this sense of like, That's so.
Yeah.
I would love to see Joey doing his own child psychology show. Ask Dr. Joey. That would be so freaking.
Ask Dr. Joey.
I would and I do it very gently. It's kind of, how's your childhood? Because you just know. I was think about yourself when you were a child. What the hell did you? Can you imagine this bitch? She's probably was
my mother said, I had you and I didn't know what to do. But that's what my mother said. She didn't know what to do.
The nice Jewish girl. Here she is.
Only
right?
half Jewish. Right. Why she didn't know what to do with me.
She's a nice Shani. I love a nice Shani Puna. Right. Shani Puna.
Kobe Cole will have a word.
And it's
for
it's not even Shabbat yet. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
my mother said, I know you're Jewish. Okay.
But I was a company of Marys from early on too. But enough. All right.
Okay.
Yes, Tim.
So you did all of that, 10.5 inches, all of that while you were supervised. Then you come to New York City without supervision.
Right. You were free when you came here.
I'm not even done yet.
Oh, there's more. Keep it coming.
Oh yeah, you can figure that there's more.
I'm gonna make it really fast now because
we want to hear it.
So well, there's a lot, but I just gotta go because otherwise
that's fine. I love this.
You're in high school. One of my neighbor. My neighbor also. They went to a different high school, Catholic
school. Went to it.
No, we had moved to another area.
Okay, so JoJo was gone. All 10
moved away from JoJo.
So JoJo would come visit, but anyway, this was so. One of the neighbors, his father owned a little stand at the farmers market that sold European pastries. So we got a job working in the bakery. So after school, like 2-3 times a week, after school I go to Fairfax in this little area near the farmers market to work in the bakery. So Mr. Mankowski, his name was Jan. So Mr. Mankowski showed me how to make, because the main guy was a beautiful black man named Mr. Delaney. And so he showed me how to make Linzer tort, cheesecake.
Oh my God, Linzer torts are my
Baba
favorite.
Rum, crepes, and it goes on and on and on and on. Coconut, this, that.
You can cook.
So I can cook. So I learned how to make all these things. So after about 6 months of doing the kitchen stuff, Mrs. Mankowski, because I like the way maybe you could do on Saturday early sell in the booth. So I went with him to farmers market, to the booth, and it was all, so I kind of even made it more Joey-like, so made it even more appetizing. And then one time I heard, "Excuse me, young man." I said, "Yes, can I help you?" And I looked, and it was Edith Head.
No, the chances of that happening.
And she was like, "What's that right there?" And I said, "Oh, that's a cheesecake with a blah, 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 blah." And was that that's the Linzer tort that was made with and no sugar, but what's so? And she was like, "Oh, you're very knowledgeable." I said, "Well, I make it." And then she goes, "And how about the balinces, the balinces, the palachintas?" I said, "Well, dude, they're all fresh. I make it. What do you want?" So she would so she came like every Saturday for about I was here every Saturday.
Okay, Edith Head was your first steady customer. That's amazing.
And then I would dress up in really fun outfits because they go to thrift shops and and she said, Joseph, would you please step out of the counter? And I stepped down. She did this thing like, turn around, do this thing. Look, turn. She said, "It's amazing. When you're thin, darling, you can wear anything."
Love it.
And then she goes, "I love it. The pants, Mickey Rooney, and the top, Jiminy the Cricket." Jiminy Cricket means Mickey Rooney or something.
Wait, Jiminy Cricket means Mickey Rooney.
I had this little cutaway blazer with tails, but it was like for a child, so it's really tiny.
I love Jiminy Cricket.
And then the pants were like black with like golden pinstripes. So then I had that job. Then I wound up going to this store called the Garment District on Sunset Strip, right across the street from Tower Records. And
God,
it was like the hippest store in LA. That was like the one that everybody went to. And I used to be like, shop if you can get in. And the owner said, "Oh my God, I love your look, blah, blah, blah." And she goes, "Do you want to do something on Saturday?" So long story short, I wound up working there. And then one Saturday I was hosing out in the street to get the store ready to open. And I'm looking, and there's Sly and the Family Stone running down the street on Sunset Strip. And Sly goes to me, goes, "Hey man, the cops are after us. We're gonna hide somewhere." I said, "Come here." So
you rescued Sly and the Family Stone.
So I took him to the store to Janet's office, and they were so. But I mean, it was like they looked like the movie Woodstock, the same springs, the big fur. I mean, all of them. And so we were hanging out with Sly and the Family Stone. So that story used to attract everybody, all the rock stars, Bob Dylan, Mary.
It was called the Garment Center.
The Garment District.
Garment District. And we are what? And we're in the 70s,
This is
right?
the 70s.
We're the mid 70s.
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 And so then again, so I did that. I had a band I was playing with at the same time. All this going on, and then I got managers. So then I got signed with Capitol Records. So I had a 2-record deal with Capitol Records, and then my friend who owned this group, this improv group, said, get away from that shit. That's too like kiddie like for you. And so I went to go see this show, and the name of the group was called The Groundlings.
And I read that. I was also with the Groundlings when they opened up in New York. That's where I met Sweetie.
Okay.
That's my connection who introduced me to you.
So
there
Gary,
you go.
Gary Austin was my dear friend.
Love
And he started the Groundlings.
Yeah.
So I'm one of the original Groundlings.
You are originally member.
And then Lorraine got casted on Saturday Night Live.
Right. Lorraine Newman.
Yeah. And then right before she left, this guy came in there. His name is Phil Hartman. It was like a bore. Yeah. And then Edie McClurg, and then Lynn Stewart, and all these people started showing up. Long story short, I met my friend Kim Hassrider through a friend of mine at 75. So and then at that time, I was doing little jobs at the art gallery, framing art because I was a master framer. It goes on and on.
Anything you can't do.
It was like I kept doing all this stuff. And so I'm doing the Groundlings. I'm doing master framing. I'm singing with the band. I'm getting ready to leave. I'm hanging out with Kim, and then Kim graduates from Cal Arts, and I was already going to go to New York. It was 75, and so when I met Kim, literally it was almost like the first day. She goes, "I'm going to drive cross country," and I said, "Well, I'll go." That was it. It was literally the first day we shook hands, and we hung out 75 all the way to June of 76 when she graduated. We packed our shit. I helped Kim sneak out of her apartment. Got in her truck. So we went cross country on a covered wagon. 1966. And so we shoplifted the whole way through.
I love that you did it in a covered wagon. That is just.
We had this big truck called the Dragon,
right?
The Dragon wagon. So with all her stuff in the back, and I had 2 duffel bags, my father's army duffel bag, and my whatever stuff in the back, and then she covered it in the tarp and all these ribbons.
Oh my
wagon.
Amazing story.
And so we went, and I was on my way to New York, and for years I've been wanting to go to New York. My grandmother would go to New York, take my cousins, and take my my uncle.
Yeah.
And we're gonna take you to New York when I was a kid. Oh yeah, and then I said no New York. I was always getting like and finally I was like,
you could finally go.
And when it was the Groundlings, I'd go for movie roles. I originally because Carrie, Stephen, what's his name again? Steve. Who did Carrie?
Oh, who did Carrie?
Who wrote Carrie? Stephen King,
right?
Well, Stephen King had just started.
Right.
I think one of the people that worked, one of the guys that was at the Groundlings, his wife was a casting agent. She knew him. He saw the Groundlings, and he casted a bunch of Groundlings to be the high school students. So I got in there, and so when I was on that set for that first day, they went to me. They were on camera. They went, "You with the dark hair coming this way," and I was like, "They said." You don't fit in. You got to go. I was like,
"Oh, are you kidding me?" Oh,
and I had done like other used to go for roles, and then they used to tell me, "Well, this is another part of the movie. It's like, but they want like a Chicano gang member." I was like,
"Okay,
me,
yeah,
Chicano gang member." I go there, and they wanted me to talk. It's like, "Can you talk like Mexican American?" I was like, "So what do you want? A burrito?" Or what? And they were like, "Thank you, bye."
Next.
I even auditioned and sang for Hair when it came to LA when I was a kid. When it was like the beginning at the Aquarius Theater, that was all hand painted by the Fools. So it was all colors and different. And so they're having the auditions for like a touring group of people there. So my friends were Sylvester and
get out. Loved Sylvester.
So this is before Sylvester was Sylvester.
Right.
So I have my black friends. So we all went to do the same. We all sang one of a song. We all sang a song. I remember I sang that song. When you walk through the dark, hold your head up high, and don't be afraid. And I sat, and they were looking at me. They go, well, you have a pretty voice, but it's not there yet. But thank you. We'll keep you in mind. In other words, fuck you. Get out.
Okay, but case in point, Joey, and I got to bring this out. By the time you were 18 years old, you had lived a million life successfully.
Yeah.
For movies,
ups and downs,
But that is the whole point. I mean, look at you. Look at how dynamic you are. Look at you, girl.
Look at this face.
Right?
Yes.
Look at this hair.
You did your thing. You have to do your own thing. They cannot make a Joey Arias fit. And that is
right. Exactly. Yeah.
You know?
Thank you.
But you just kept doing you. And somewhere along the way, you discovered Billie Holiday, which I have to hear about. But Tim, we have a clip.
Yes, I was going to say.
About our clip.
You can show that later, right?
We've got tons of people in the chat room, too.
Oh, people watching this?
Yes.
Oh, my God. Suck cock, everybody.
Teresa's saying we love to
There's Teresa. Oh, my God. And there's Kobe.
There's Kobe.
Oh, Kobe.
Yes. Has a beautiful voice. Have you seen him?
Oh, hell yes.
I was in one of Kobe's shows.
He's a nice Jewish boy, too. Another nice Jewish boy.
He's amazing.
I love him. Look at that voice.
You know, another really incredible one. There we go.
Oh.
Okay, here's your clip.
You can show that now?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll show you a clip now.
Dreaming of white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where those street stars listen and the fucking children. Sleigh bells in the snow. As I'm dreaming of white Christmas, with every Christmas card I write. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white. I'm dreaming of white Christmas, with every Christmas card. May your day be merry and may all your Christmases be white, black, brown, purple, brown, every color of the
Yay.
Oh, my,
Yeah.
what's Christmas? I love that.
Yeah, I chose that one for
I'm looking at that clip and I'm looking at this face now. I'm going, what? It's all the same.
Yeah, and so I
But
said
the thing I love your on stage persona,
yes.
because like talking to you now, you're talking, like this, and then you hit that stage and you go,
You you know, so Tim, I said to Joey, that is the same 6-year-old kid up there. That is how has somebody been able to retain their essence for a amount of time? It is. You're the same person.
Of just having fun, enjoying yourself.
But the voice is like, I can't, but I can talk. It's like full, but that thing is like a different, I go in a different range. But anyway, so yeah, here we are. We talked about Betty Page. That was another mistake because I had to do something at Barney's with Rave in a trunk show. And somebody went offline.
Oh my God, we just lost Tim.
Oh, if you guys want to keep going?
Yeah. Chauncey will bring him.
Okay,
back
so
on,
I had the we had to do this show. We were doing the bar. Anyways, they threw me this. We were doing. Anyway, they gave me this wig, like Betty Page wig, and I put it on. I thought, oh, this is gonna. I didn't even think Betty Page.
Yeah.
With a Chanel suit, and then
Chanel.
So then I had this Betty Page wig in my closet, and then when we left doing the Strange Fruit show, we started doing the Bardot thing. I thought, that'll be my new look, kind of like this Cleopatra.
It is. When you say Cleopatra, Betty Page, it's like, yeah, I got it.
And then I wound up meeting Betty Page for real.
Isn't that amazing? My God.
Everybody I was like so in love with. David Bowie. I was chasing David Bowie my whole life. And I'm working with David Bowie. Betty Page. I'm fascinated. I love her. I'm dressing like Betty Page. I wound up meeting Betty Page.
Amazing. Well, it's just like Edith Head, your first customer. Come on. You know, totally meant to be.
Right, exactly. Look how fabulous you look.
Oh my God, this is
awesome.
God. So, all right, you came to New York. Your first job here was what? Fiorucci? Fiorucci. I love Fiorucci.
Why are you sorry about that? I got so enthralled with you and your stories and your performance. I wasn't paying attention to my battery died.
Oh, we know you were carrying on with the elves in your bathroom. The story is they're in a hostage situation in your apartment, Tim Moss. Don't think you're going to get away with that.
Real fast, before I even left LA.
Yeah.
My friend Bo, all these New Yorkers that used to be in New York, they had a little cocktail party one day, and these people came over they said our friends from Baltimore are going to show up, and I was like, all of a sudden the people showed up, and all of a sudden I looked at this one fat person, bald with a little bit of hair,
Divine,
and I said, "What's your name?" He goes, "Oh, hon, I'm Divine."
Divine,
yeah. It was so
amazing.
I said, we just finished shooting a brand new film called Pink Flamingos. It should be out soon.
My God!
So I had no idea who they were. Right. So then John Waters and the whole gang. Well, we're all kids, like young.
Yeah,
I was like real young. I was fascinated by Divine, so I used to hang out with Divine.
My God! Still listen to Divine. To me, what Divine recorded then is so in touch with now.
Yes.
It's transcended decades again.
But it's funny, we're talking about this stuff. I have to tell you, I really I'm very nervous talking about stuff like this because it's going backwards. But I know this is a show where opening up the book of the past, the book of Exodus or whatever.
Yeah, but we go backwards, we go forwards, we go anywhere in between, darling. It's your moment to shine.
But I'm doing it because of you and then you guys, because the thing is that I personally, when I meet people,
I love this.
I don't talk about my career. I'm like, who are you? And I love you. What do you do? And I say nothing about who I am. I want to hear stories. And they say, what do you do? I said, I'm a singer. That's all. I don't even everything. I would never unload like this to people like, well.
But Joey, what is so important, and I told you this, like Penny Arcade has a Lower East Side biography project. If we don't all tell our story nowadays, if we don't keep the history going, Tim and I talk about this all the time, we owe it to the generation coming up. Okay?
We don't owe nothing. We don't owe them nothing.
Yeah,
they owe us something.
That's right.
We paved the way for you bitches.
Yeah, we do the work already. Now you take. Now you get. You let's see what you got to offer us.
Right.
I don't owe you fucking shit. You
That's what we say.
So now I have to disagree with that. Fuck you, kids. You give it to me. Show me your respect and do it.
Right.
Because what I did.
All these kids try to impress me. Try to show me something new.
Right.
Hell yeah.
Well, you look at what you did by the time you were 18 years old and it just happened, and you would be hard pressed. There's not a lot of them. You came to New York when I did. Madonna, Keith Haring, you were a few years earlier than me.
Oh, they weren't even here yet.
Right. But they were, and they just came out here and they did it. And that's the whole point. When it's like,
but that's when New York was, that's when New York was real. I mean, there was grit and edge, and you could come out here and you could be anything and you could do anything. Now you can come here and you can stay if you have enough money. It's
that's so true.
All about money now.
It didn't matter then. It was really about
And
the
you
process.
and you were one of those real, true artists that came out here and just flourished.
So one of the things I really wanted to talk about, I went to that show at, I call it the Boohoo Gallery, but it's called the
Boo hooray.
Boo Hooray, as in hip hip hooray. The show that you brought the archives that you had of Klaus Nomi and your relationship and what everything was like then. The Polaroids, Tim, on the it was just an unbelievable show to experience. Tell us like the process that was involved with that and your relationship with Klaus Nomi, because that's, I think, an important thing.
So when I first came to New York, it was like 76 June. I was like, and my friend Bo had like a little cocktail luncheon, and I met a group of people that actually be like Katie K and but there was like certain people that were really important in my life. So Kim and I were there, and then a couple of days later, Katie said, "Come down to my apartment," because I was 78th in New York. So I went to.
You were in my neighborhood.
So I went down where I live now, at the university where Katie was living. So I was like, wow, what a great apartment. We had coffee, and there was a little drawing on the wall with a little impish man holding a rose, kind of like this hair pulled back, but not know me, but just like this little. And she goes, "Oh, my friend Klaus is an artist, and he likes to draw." And he kind of, she goes, in a strange way, he kind of looked like that. I thought, oh, I want to meet this person. We laughed. He said, she goes, he's a baker, and he likes to sing opera. And I was like, oh, that's nice, because I hate opera, and so I'm a jazz artist. So anyway, she goes, let's go to the Village. We went out. We were walking across 10th Street going east, and there was Klaus walking the street.
All right, like everything, boom.
And then he had a fedora on, aviator sunglasses, a Brooks Brothers pink and white shirt, stripe, chinos, a brown belt, and chocolate brown penny loafers, and a bag.
I love that you can remember every detail of everything he was wearing.
I'm so jealous.
In 1976. In 1976.
It's incredible because you have that kind of memory, pretty great memory time. How do you remember this?
I just remember it's like wow. I just gotta look at the picture. And Katie was wearing like a Hawaiian dress, and she was for the wigs, and she had her hair pulled up, and she always wore dark, smoky, like the cabaret eyes in the daytime. She was, and so and I think I wore I call it the jungle gym look. It was actually like a khaki shirt rolled up with sleeves, with these other chinos, with an alligator belt, with a lizard cowboy boots. I had like a Vidal Sassoon kind of brown like hair, and I had a little watch, and I had some pins that looked like I was in the army or whatever. So I was kind of like, every day I dressed up.
Yeah,
so
differently, I'm sure.
So every day was a different
different.
So Katie said, "Oh my God, Klaus." Said, "Oh, Katie, where are you going?" "Oh, I gotta go pick something or whatever." And where are you going? "Well, this is my friend Joey. He moved to New York." He goes, "Oh, hi, Joey." And then he goes, "How long you?" I said, I moved here." "Oh, fantastic." He goes, "Well, I have to go, but I bake cookies and cakes and whatever. So on Saturday, we'd like to come over for coffee and cookies." I said, "Sure."
I love it.
So that was like probably a Tuesday, and on Saturday I went to Klaus's house. And that moment we started talking we became friends immediately from the beginning. Wow. That was just the beginning of the relationship. And I remember also I was invited by another German friend that was Klaus's friend, Gabrielle Lafati, who lives right down the street here.
I love that they're all around here.
And so she was like Klaus's like female counterpart. I was invited him. Anyway, she was doing something for German TV at CBGB's. So I went with Katie. And I remember seeing all the rockers sitting there, and I was like, also like some kind of fun something, and they were giving me the look like, who in the fuck was I? And the band was playing, and the band was great, and Gabrielle and the girl, both the girls were in gold. They took a break. The girl came down. She goes, "Oh my God!" She goes, "I've never seen you before." I said, "My name's Joey." I said, "What's your name?" She goes, "My name's Debbie Harry." I was like, "Oh." I said, "What's the name of the band?" She goes, "Oh, we call ourselves Blondie." I said, "Oh, you guys are great." She goes, we're trying to get a record deal.
I love it.
And then she goes, "Hey," I said, "Oh my God!" I said, "You guys sound so great." And I said, and she goes, "Is everything okay?" I said, "Everyone's giving, like ignore it." And she goes, "They're just jealous of you." She goes, "They're all burnt out and all wasted." That was the Ramones.
And you were just a fresh thing. You were the fresh one in town.
And they were giving me that. So these all became my friends right in the beginning of New York, So Klaus and I, and then my first job was seriously in New York after about a month of going to every club in New York, every
club.
I went out every night, every night, every night. And then my first job was working at an art gallery, framing art, because I could do that.
Because you knew how to do that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I got that. It was like 5 days a week from like 10 to 2 or something like that. Then I remember Fiorucci had just opened.
I loved it.
It just opened. It was kind of like a very Italian boutique, really straight, like, and you didn't know who worked there. And I used to go shopping to pick up and people thought I worked there. And I was like, oh my God, this place is blowing my mind. I got to work here. I got a job working at Unique Clothing on Broadway.
Unique Clothing.
Oh, Unique.
Yeah.
I love that.
So that was a Saturday. So I do the art thing during the week, Saturday, Unique Clothing. And I go to Fiorucci also. And then my friend introduced me to the Joan Kaner, who's the artistic director of running the store. And I kind of met her, and I was just real Fiorucci and whatever. And she was very much like that character. Like, I walked into her office and she was looking down on the phone talking. I walked in, she didn't even look at me once. And I stood there, and she would do, and she would like kind of like sit down,
dismissive,
very, and then she goes, "Ciao, to me, okay, ciao." She was, and she's looking at her book, and she's not even looking at me. She goes, "So, how can I help you?" I said, "Well, I looked shopping at Fiorucci, and I gave her my whole spiel." And then she closed the book, and then she went, "What's your name again?" I said, "Joey Arias." She goes, "So you shop?" And I had to say it because I think it was going. And then when I gave her this thing, I think it blew her mind. She goes, "I like what you told me." And I said, I was being very nice. I said, "I think people need to look the part of the store and work with the customers, because I said, I don't know who works here. It could be like Schmo from Brooklyn or Schmo from New York." Right. I said, "You gotta look Italian." She goes, "Are you Italian?" And I lied. I said, "Yeah."
You can pass. Yeah. You know that. Of course.
That was Italian.
Right.
Well, I've had a lot of Italian in me. Let's put it that way.
A lot of Italian influence.
Right. A big cannelloni. And so the thing is that what did I do? Oh,
Fiorucci.
She said, "Well, we have a quota. We're kind of like, can I get your number?" That was like a Tuesday or something. I gave her my number, and so I went back to work. Was it Friday after I got off the art gallery? I went back to the apartment I was staying at with Kim, and when I walked in, the phone rang on Friday about 3:00, and it was like, "Hello, is there a Joey Arias there? Parla Italiano?" It's like, "Oh no, parla." I'm like, "Who?" She goes, "Oh, this is Joan Kaner, Fiorucci." I was like, "Oh," she goes, "I thought about it. Can you actually start Monday?"
Fabulous.
And then I was like,
"Great story.
Well, let me look at my schedule." And then I went, "Oh, you know what? I'll see you Monday." She goes, "Fantastic," because I was playing the game with her too. Yeah. Wait, let me look at my schedule.
Yeah, you have to.
Oh, okay, I could do it. And I hung the phone up. I was like, what? So that was a Friday, and so then Saturday I went to Unique Clothing. The guy there, because I was in charge of the T-shirts, and I met a lot of rock stars, Patti Smith, and we were hanging out.
Yeah, everybody came in there.
Yeah. And so he said, "Can we talk to you, Joey?" I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "You're such an amazing person. You have such a personality." And he goes, "We actually want to give you the job as a store manager."
Amazing.
And then I said, "Well, I got something to tell you." And he goes, "What is it?"
"Yeah,
I just got hired at Fiorucci." And he went, "Oh."
No, they can't. Yeah, they can't.
I said, "But thank you." He goes, "You know what? You're new in New York. You're pushing. You're going. You're growing.
Yep.
You have. If you ever want to come here, you need us for. If you ever need us for anything, come. Come." So I started the Fiorucci, and I walked in like a firecracker, and I was making because there was a salary and commission. So I thought
you hustled.
Oh, honey, I hustled. Yeah. I was taking speed and
right.
Yeah.
I was making those commissions left and right. Case in point, Joey, you came to New York, no trust fund, working 2 jobs. All right, 150%. You're not relying on anyone. You freaking turning it out, hustling on your own, and creating your art. That is something that would be very hard to find now.
No, you can't do that.
You can't.
And the thing, which is weird because I lived uptown, so here I'm at the beginnings of Fiorucci. It's still not what, but it's very hip, and it's like people are going. I was working with Jackie Onassis, and this one goes on and on and on.
I loved it.
So I was like the personal shoppers in the store. It's
Oh
all
my
getting,
God.
and it started getting more. I mean, everyone was coming. That story was like you had to go to Fiorucci. It was like Statue of Liberty, World Trade Center, and the Empire State Building, Statue of Liberty, and Fiorucci.
Yep.
Yeah.
You had to go there.
It was 59th between Lex and
Lexington
Park.
Park.
Yep. I mean,
Okay.
I came to New York just as they were opening. Unbelievable.
And so then I was uptown. Then I come downtown, be with Klaus and the gang, and then I'd be some of the east side with the other friends. Then I'd be the west side. So there I'm hanging with the high fashion, the trash fashion, the downtown side, the west side faggots, the east side faggots, people. It was like I was involved in all these different groups. So
Wow.
East Village was only East Village, and I was like doing all of that. You know, I was literally I was the crossroads of the world.
You are the crosswords.
Yes, absolutely.
I am the explorer.
That's it, right?
Joey, I have to tell you, this is so fascinating. We have to have you back on this show for Joey Arias 2.0.
Yeah, we need to get into like the.
We're not even halfway through.
Well, yeah, we want you to talk about your upcoming show.
Unfortunately, yes.
How much time do we have?
Talk about your upcoming show.
A few minutes. Yeah.
Okay, so real fast.
Yeah.
Snowy show. Company 7 or the art of what we did Saturday night with Bowie. That was the explosion. So
we've got to do all of that. We've got to talk about all of that.
And blah, 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 and it goes on and on and on. Such a slave with all
that. We've got to have you back on.
The ring
almost 8 years.
8 years. That's like I never knew that about you.
People
like
saying
such a soleil.
I co-wrote it and wrote 4 songs. So I'm gonna say, so we're gonna end the show. Fuck you.
Damn, time constraints.
This is gonna be my first concert in 2 years at Joe's Pub, January 30th.
Yep.
With my favorite piano player in the world, Elliot Douglas, who I stole and brought him to Cirque du Soleil. But he was the one I used to do Strange Fruit. Beautiful black man. I'm smart. And also recording with me my new album. So he's going to come and play piano. Got Ben Allison on bass, who's also a musical director.
Allison, amazing.
Genius. Brandon Seabrook on guitar. Steve Cadenas on also guitar. But that Brandon Seabrook is totally out of the world. And then I forgot the name of the drummer. And then my producer is getting 2 horn players and 2 singers that are also on my album. These 2 is a woman. Instead of the stage is so small, we were gonna have 4 singers and 4, but it's all too tight.
Yeah. At Joe's Pub,
they're gonna blow it out of the water.
Amazing.
So it's all. We're gonna present the EP.
Wow.
So, and then we're gonna do the classics, of course.
Of course.
We had to do the classics. I've got to do a Billy song, and because people expect that. It's like sometimes like we want to move on. You gotta still pay homage to Billy.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, of course. And you're moving Billy on when you do that.
Well, a psychic woman from Scotland who I deal with like once every 6 months. She told me, she said, "I see black energy around you, and when you're singing, there's black." And I was like,
"Oh, it's
is it bad or good?" And she goes, "No, it's weird. It's like she's moving around." And then I went, "Oh, it's a she." She goes, "She's black, but something keeps changing, and I'm getting like there's a change going on with her. Or you're doing the change thing." And I thought, wait a minute, because this would be Billie Holiday. I'm singing "You Changed," and she was quiet.
Great.
She says, "You channel for real." She says, "When you do that song,
I would think so.
The vibe of Billie comes to you, but you don't keep the channeling long enough." So she kind of thanks you and laughs at you, and goes the vibe. But she goes, if you could channel longer, she'll be there to listen to you, because she kind of likes what you're doing. She gets a kick out of it. That's and this doesn't really know me.
That is such an amazing story,
right?
It's got to be what you're doing. And I mean, when we go back now over your history, you've been channeling your entire life.
Talk about channel. Let's turn the channel right now. If these walls can talk.
Okay.
God damn it! Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Let's make this a brand new year. And fuck Mominy, Crominy, Ominy, and you know what?
Crominy, out the window.
And fuck the non-binary, non-dairies. I hate that. You are who, she, or a faggot, or a drag queen, or a trans. You're not a hit. There,
there
them.
You go.
I say, fuck you all.
And you're always in the company of Mary. Don't ever forget it.
Right here. Remember, it's a firecracker between her legs. Got a match? Let's blow this bitch. And I love you all.
Joey Arias, thank you so much. We love you. And I cannot wait to have you back on again. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
I'm blessing you.
Oh, God bless. God bless. I can feel it. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Merry Christmas, happy holiday, whatever you celebrate. Be safe, be well, and live life grandly.
Exactly. Be yourself.
Love you.
Love you.